Hey everyone, JCarmine960 here, giving you another review of the latest 7 cards they have now revealed for the Scholomance Academy expansion. Today, we're just going to cover the cards, the newest ones, so it'll be a little bit quicker video, but we're also going to talk about what's overpowered and not overpowered, because there's a lot of talk, mainly around this card, as to why and how overpowered is actually defined. So we'll get there. We're going to go in order here. First up is Cabal Acolyte, 4 mana, 2/6, Taunt, Spell Burst, gain control of a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack. If you see a high power neutral in the future that every single class is going to run, you will see this card, especially if it has 2 or less attack. Or if you're just playing against a lot of aggro fast decks, this is a good way to try to sneak back some board control later on. So situational, you might see it, you might not. 4 mana, 2/6 isn't anything new. We've had it in the past with a couple different cards, especially in Priest, like the Tortollan Shield Bearer guy. That was the 4 mana, 2/6 Death Rattle, give +1/+1 to an ally. So situational, you might see it, you might not. We'll see what happens. Mozaki, Master Duelist, 5 mana, 3/8, which is pretty cool. But after you cast a spell, gain spell damage +1. We haven't really seen a lot of 3/8s in the game. I think the last 3/8 we saw was the Gunspire for Warrior, which was a legendary. So 3/8's not really a normal stat line. 5 mana, 3/8's not terrible. She's got 8 health, which is not bad, so she's a little sticky. But the first thing that screams to me is combo, combo, combo. You're not going to put this in a Highlander deck, more than likely. You want to cast a bunch of spells with it, get that spell damage up. You want to combo this with your Sorcerer's Apprentices. I think this is just a natural fit in Wild if you're not going for that 4 Acolyte OTK with the quest. This could definitely still work with that quest. You put the quest down, put this down, next turn you're just slinging spells left and right. So we'll see if Mozaki Master Duelist can fit in a Shenvala cheap spell, Ray of Frost, Magic Trick style deck. So if that becomes popular, you'll see a lot of her. Ace Hunter Kreen, this is the card that a lot of Twitter, a lot of Reddit's going, why is this card so OP and Demon Hunter gets the best stuff? First of all, it's dual class, Demon Hunter and regular Hunter. But I do feel like this probably has a more home feel in Demon Hunter. This card isn't crazy OP. Both the classes want to go to your face, not just to your minions. You're looking at, on curve, this at most protects the 2/1/1s off of Umberwing. You're looking at protecting your 1/2 guy that gains +1 attack every attack, or your Battle Masters right out the beginning. It's not OP because it's just your characters are immune when attacking. It is unique because we've only seen this on cards on a one-off situation. Battlecry, you have Rush and immune if blah blah blah. So it's not so broken where you're just going to be like, oh man, this is going to come down and there's nothing I can do about it. It's their hand usually is close to empty later in the game, so it's not like they're going to sit on 8-9 cards, play this, and start rushing and charging. And if they want to charge, Kane is just a better option because it goes past taunts and everything, and it goes to the face. So not as overpowered. It might see some play if there's some rush synergy with it, but in all honesty, this card is not anything that they're really like, oh, it's immune. It's not that crazy OP. It's a cool card. It's unique. I like it. It's definitely in a class that can take advantage of it, but at the same time, they can't because they want to go face. So maybe advantageous on some of their trades. I can now trade my 2/4 Bone Chewer, or my 2/3 Bone Chewer, or 4/2 Bone Chewer into your 4 health taunt, and it can stay alive because I played that on 2 and it took 1 damage. Now I'm playing, you might be able to do something with it, but overall I'm not seeing the overpowered factor that everyone else is. Ceremonial Maul. This card is my favorite from the ones that they announced today. Might even be my favorite from all the ones that they've announced so far, not because of the power level, not because it's a Paladin Warrior. I play mostly Priest, Mage anyway, because it's finally like able to see Blizzard try to do something cool with some effects. You have Spell Burst on a weapon. And in my first video you saw, I said Spellburst is really cool. I'm really excited to see what Blizzard's going to do with it in this game. And they have delivered. This card is awesome. 3 mana 2/2 weapon. It's okay. We've seen 3 mana 2/2s. Livewire Lance, 3 mana 2/2. But you're looking at a phenomenal effect. Spellburst. Summon students with taunt. Summon a student with taunt and stats equal to the spell's cost. Unless they put a really like aggro 4, 5, 6 mana spell in Warrior, or a super awesome 6, 7, 8 mana removal in like a Control Warrior, you're probably not going to see this in a lot of Warrior decks just because I think there's better weapons. Not because it's not a good card, just because I think there's better weapons for value and damage in the Warrior's arsenal. However, in Paladin, I think one of the things right now that they're doing is their weapon selection is not the greatest. You have the 4 mana 4, or yeah, the 4 mana 4/2, give yourself 2 health. That weapon will always be used in every deck. It's awesome. But aside from that, you have the Murloc 3 mana 3/2. Get a Murloc, and some decks just don't even run it. You run it in Murloc only. This can be played in all of those types of decks. Especially, you play this on 3, you put 2 damage into a minion, and then on 4 you consecrate, and now all of a sudden you have the board back. You still have a 2 damage weapon swing, and you have a 4/4 with taunt. I mean, that seems pretty good, especially if you're trying to play a mid-rangey style deck, especially with Paladin. It's definitely one that you're going to see, but I like it the most because I love the fact that they put Spellburst on a weapon, and you can interact with it. Guess what? Ooze exists. If you don't Spellburst off of this, sorry, you missed your opportunity. So definitely something that I love to see. Really excited to see some more Spellburst in the future. I really am. Moving on, Totem Goliath. Kind of underwhelming. This really needs a lot of totem synergy to see any play. 5 mana 4/5 is not great. It's rather slow. And it overloads you for 2. So it kind of makes me feel like Blizzard's like, here's this kind of underwhelming thing, but you summon all 4 basic totems and look what you can do. And in the past we've seen the Battlecry gain +1/+1 for each totem you have. We've seen another one that's Battlecry. If you have all 4 totems, you summon Alakir. So it'll be kind of neat to see if we have any sort of synergy with totems, but until that exists, this card will not see play, and you'd be very upset if you get it off of like a Evolve or an Apexis Blast, stuff like that. I mean, dropping a bunch of 0/2s and a 1/1 isn't anything that people are like, oh yeah, that sounds so awesome. Glide. Let's talk about this card. Demon Hunter 4 mana spell, shuffle your hand into your deck. If it's an outcast, you shuffle your opponent's, and then you both draw 4 cards. Pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. It is kind of neat to see. Aside from Dirty Rat, Gnome Feratu, Death Grip off of Lich King or off of Arthas, or even the Void Contract, which destroyed half of each player's deck, they really haven't put a lot of interact with your opponent's hand or deck style cards in the game. So it's nice to see one that can be played in a control style deck. So if you're a Demon Hunter and for some reason they're a Demon Hunter control deck, which you do have that 7 mana, deal 3 to all, 7 3/3s for each one you kill. So you have that, so they could be leaning towards the Demon Hunter control archetype. If you see that, this is great. You want to put cards in your deck, and you want your opponent to draw their deck. You can even set up like some sort of fatigue with it. Or if you're aggro and you're just hammering people, all of a sudden you're out of cards, and you get this off of Skull, or you just draw it off the top, and you have 0 cards in your hand, and now you have 1, and it's Glide. And your opponent is a Warlock, a Handlock that's got 8-9 cards in their hand. Congrats, you both now have 4 cards in your hand, and the Warlock is going to be very upset, or the Control Warrior, or the Control Priest. So this can find a home in either an aggro deck or even a control style deck, depending on what comes out for the rest of this set. And I'm really excited to see what synergizes with this. This is an awesome card. I love seeing a way to interact with your opponent, because for a while it felt stale. Especially with a lot of combo decks, it's like, oh, they drew their combo, and I unfortunately didn't kill them in time, so I just lose. This is a great way to combat that. And then the last card they announced, Fel Asafi. It is a dual-class Demon Hunter Warlock card. 1 mana, great cost. Copy the lowest demon in your hand, and if it's an outcast, so left or right, you give both +1/+1. 1 mana, draw 1, pretty easy. You can tutor it to something specific, which is nice because now you can build around knowing what this card is going to give you. But at the same time, outcast, give them both +1/+1. 1 mana +1/+1 is good, but 1 mana +2/+2 is even better. And you're copying a demon and you're doing what you want with it, so it's pretty nice. I like to see this card. Control archetype, you might maybe toss this in for a cheap counterspell breaker, or even you got a really powerful demon effect and you want to copy it. There you go. That's a great way to get a second copy of a really strong demon that you need in either Warlock or Demon Hunter, or you're just an aggro lock, right? Your Zoo, you want to hit them in the face. This is in the far left of your hand in the opener. Turn 1, you play this. Now you have two of the imps that are now 4/3. And turn 2, you now have 8/6 worth of stats, and you're saying, okay, it's turn 3, and now what are you going to do? I have 8/6 worth of stats, and I'm going to beat you down. So definitely a card that can be like, oh man, you know, you go to the Hearthstone stats online, and you look at like Deck Tracker and stuff, and it's telling you, yeah, it's a 67% win rate when this card is in your mulligan. So look for this card to be very frustrating to play against, or even one of those cards that you see people, you play it and then you just concede because you know your hand isn't ready for it. So I like this card. I think this card's going to be played like crazy. So that's it. Those are the 7 cards for today. I will hopefully be able to do another video tomorrow because it looks like they're going to be doing 7 more tomorrow. If not tomorrow, I'll try to drop it out on Saturday. But yeah, that's it. If you liked the video or you have your own opinions, drop comments. Give it a like, give us a subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you know when the next video is coming out. That way you guys can jump on it and see what I have to say. And of course, until next time, I hope to see you guys out in the tavern.